Hello, watchers! BoJess here, and welcome to the beginnings of the guest house from Resident Evil 7. This build is going to be split up into several different parts. It's a pretty big guest house. I mean, it's got the first floor, which I'm building now, the basement, and the attic. I restarted Resident Evil 7 over again so that I could take pictures of every single nook and cranny of every room in this house. That is the reason why I started building the entrance of this house instead of the living room or the kitchen. Looking back at this room now, I'm not really sure what this room would be for. Maybe a laundry room that they turned into some kind of junk storage? Who knows? This is definitely the back entrance to the house though. The reason I say that is because while I was taking pictures, I noticed that the other hallway where the bookshelves have fallen over, if you look real close, that's actually a door that the shelves are blocking and not a window, which is what I originally thought. This light is the closest one I could find that resembles the one in the game. The one in the game is just a light bulb hanging from the ceiling with some wire around it, like a garage light. I was so happy when I found the wallpaper I used for this room because it is perfect except for the fact that it's clean and pretty, and this house is definitely neither of those. Well, in a creepy horror-like aspect, this house isn't too bad. The door that I chose for this house is also a lot prettier than the one that's really there too. Man, I spent a lot of time looking for a door. I actually had to cut out a lot of this video because I was stopping here and there to go and look at the pictures I had taken. Also, I messed up when I moved the walls. No worries though, I'll fix that here in a bit. That's not the only thing that I messed up and had to go back and fix it later. Mainly because I looked at the pictures wrong. I used this shelf quite a few times in this house. It's the only one that looks even remotely like the one that's in the game. Pretty much like everything else that I'm using. The only way that I would be able to make this house look exactly like the one in Resident Evil is if I made mods. I have no idea even how to start modding. I mean, I know how to install mods on my game, I just don't know how to make them. Oh, these boxes gave me so much hell. I forgot how to scale them up and move them up and down. And when I finally figured it out, I had a heck of a time to getting the boxes to go where I wanted them to go. Then I ended up having to move the shelf over anyway. So that made it where I had to move those frickin' boxes again. I gave up and decided to look for flooring and try to find stuff to decorate the back wall with that, you know, looked relatively like what was in the game. Sadly, there are no doors laying on their side, so I had to improvise. Fun. I'm actually pretty proud of how this wall turned out though. Just this wall though. The rest of the house is complete shite. I'm joking. I'm actually pretty proud of how this whole house is turning out so far. Wow, I spent so much time looking through tons and tons of stuff, trying to find anything that looks relatively like wood planks or a sideways door. The closest thing that I could find was this sign thing from Dying Out that you're supposed to fill up with little letters and stuff to make a restaurant advertising sign with. I put two of them together, but the problem is that they glitched out really bad. So, I found a bookshelf that I turn around to pose as wood planks. Seems a bit silly, but hey, it works. While searching for more stuff to throw up on the walls, I came across these cobwebs, which I had no idea were even in the game. Apparently, they came with the vampire stuff pack, and I am absolutely in love. There are also stains and scratch marks and stuff that makes it look like you have holes in your wall. That really added the absolutely most amazing touch to this whole house. I am so glad the Sims team put these in. Oh, I see I finally fixed that little part of the wall that I said I'd fix earlier. Yay me. Well, while I was admiring my work, I realized that the bookshelf is sticking through the wall. I had a good little laugh about that. Then decided that I would fix it later and started putting holes in all over the walls and stains, cracks, so on and so forth. Which I think turned out very beautiful, if I don't say so myself. And I finally fixed those shelves, then go back to decorating the walls again. I was going to try to find something else to put up on the walls where the bookshelves are, but then I realized I could just shuffle them back a little bit, and voila! It works. Just like magic. So yeah, I should be getting pretty close to moving on to the hallway pretty soon, I hope, because this is a lot of decorating. And I don't really know what else to talk about. Yeah, it looks great, and I'd like to start talking about something else other than stains on the wall. Here I go. I am finally moving on to the hallway. Because of changing the shape of the previous room so much, I obviously had to move the hallway. I don't know why I didn't just build it as a complete room and move it over. It would have been so much easier. I had to improvise here a bit because the hallway was a little slim, so I decided that I would make the other room a slight bit bigger, and that worked. Should be making this into a room any day now. There we go. Got to get the wallpaper up, and I decided to work on the pictures first, which I put on the wrong side of the wall. Don't worry, I end up changing that a little bit later on. Finding the right pictures was a little challenging, and really these pictures don't work as well as I would have liked them to. Finding something to go in that little side nook over there was kind of hard too. Mainly what's over there is a picture frame and some wood leaning up against the walls. But what I used, I think, does work pretty good. Another problem that I had was trying to find stuff that goes on the floor. In this house, the floor is an absolute nightmare. There is stuff everywhere, and I'm still thinking about stuff that I could use to put on the floor. I might just improvise and put random little dilly-mabobs and thingy-majigs there. I decided to use this noteboard thing on the floor, or particle board thing, whatever it's called, in place of a picture frame that's really there. I found this little food sign thing, which is the only thing I could really see working there. I don't know, maybe I'll find something that works better a little bit later on. This build is far from being done. And of course I am now adding the cracks and holes in the wall, decorating it, making it all pretty and whatnot. I found some more stains and stuff to put on the walls. Hopefully it all looks really nice and pretty, stuff like that. Oh, I think this is where I realized it was the wrong wall. Oh, never mind. It's not. But I am putting the flooring in, and that is very important. I'm getting silly now. Something that I was thinking about while walking through this house was how the developers created this house. Did they, go to old abandoned houses and, take pictures kind of like what I was doing to be able to, build this house in The Sims? Or did they actually find an old abandoned house to model this house after? I'm kind of thinking that they probably, used different houses and kind of came up with their own. Because this house is a bit strange how it's put together. Like, you have the hallway. Okay, you have this room that you walk into, and then immediately after that you have the hallway, and then you have the kitchen, and boom, another hallway that leads to like the living room. And the hallway is like really, really long, but I can't remember right now exactly where that led. I think that door's locked, and from there you can actually go into the bathroom, if I'm not mistaken. But the way in the game that you have to go around it is you end up having to go into the attic, the secret attic, go around into little, corridors and whatnot, and then back up the steps, and then you find another hallway, which, has the bathroom and all that stuff. I don't know, this house is just designed in a very strange way. Oh, and they did not have any cabinets that worked besides that one for, this room. It's actually a completely closed cabinet, and you have a chain around the handles that you have to cut open to get in there. There's no glass. And I'm off to building the kitchen, finally. That took forever. I actually had a lot of fun making this kitchen, mainly because of all the rugged stuff from the Get to the City expansion, as I like to call it. It's actually called City Living. That's a pretty well-known joke among the simming community because of the first 2 expansion packs starting with the word get. Yes, I totally put the word get in quotation marks. I really wish that they would have named the expansion pack that. It would have been so funny. I forgot that I had the move objects cheat on, and that's why I was piling everything upon each other. And I was just thinking about how funny it was that I actually was doing that, and then I was sitting there going, why isn't this working for me? And then I realized that I had the move objects cheat on. But instead of removing or turning the move objects cheat off, I was like, oh, forget it. I'll just put this here. And then it took me a minute to find the windows that I actually needed. And then I went off on a looking for blinds adventure. Finally found some, and luckily I could paint them white. Now, oh yeah, I'm looking for the, I don't even know what to call it, it's kind of like a shelf deal that's a little taller than the cabinets, and they have their microwave sitting on top of it, and I couldn't find anything. So I was like, oh, forget it. I'll just put the microwave on top of one of those. I can't even think of what that counter's called. Like a bar stool counter. Thinking about it, as you're walking through this house and, you open up the refrigerator or the microwave. Well, at least in the demo, I know you could open up the microwave. I don't remember if you can in game or not. But you can open up the fridge and you can open up the little pots and pans that are sitting on the table. And you would think, as long as that stuff looks like it's been sitting in there, that your character, Ethan, would completely pass out from the smell of it, or at least gag and throw up. Oh, I found better looking blinds for these windows, and I was so freaking excited. Sorry, I had to say all that. But yeah, just this house has got to smell just absolutely grotesque. I don't know how anybody could. I would have to clean that. I really would. Oh, these cabinets, none of them look like the ones that are in the game, so I had to improvise. And first I was gonna put just the 2 in there, but the ones in the game are a little bit wider. Now, and if you're wondering why that box is like flipping me outside, it's because apparently, I think it's the key 9 is supposed to be like a camera thing, and they use the float up also as the 9, and yeah, it'll flip you all over the place when you're trying to raise things above the ground. But yeah, so I ended up putting 2 of those cabinets side by side with the other one, because those were the only cabinets I think that came in those correct colors that looked pretty good. And then here with the tables, I was comparing these 2 tables. I ended up going with the square one because it doesn't look as pretty. The table in the game isn't really that pretty. It's an old table. And then these chairs were like the closest that I could come to, what the chairs and tables looked like in the chairs and tables. What the chairs looked like in the game. And actually, one of those chairs is like fallen over, but there's no, fallen over chairs in this game. Oh, here I go again, piling things on the table, and forgot that I had that move objects cheat on. Oh, jeez, I had so much fun building this. Sitting there piling everything on the table going, what the heck? Why can't I, why won't this table fill up? And I'm like, oh, I have the move objects cheat on, never mind. And I'm too lazy to turn it off, of course, so I just leave it on. I'm like, forget it, I don't care. Oh, I was trying to find something that looked like paint cans in this part, because in the picture, there looks to be like little, in the game, that looks to be little paint cans that are all sitting piled up on the floor there. And I just couldn't find anything that looked like a paint can. So I might have to improvise with something else. I don't know what yet. I have a couple ideas that I'm gonna try out. So this kitchen is definitely not fixed. Oh, also I find it really funny that sink faucet thing, the faucet sticks out from the blinds. I think that's so funny. Oh, that little heater thing, that was another thing that was added in the vampire expansion that I thought was absolutely awesome. And there's one in the game right there. So it was absolutely perfect. A little fun fact about this episode. This episode took me roughly around 2 hours and 45 minutes to build everything that, you're seeing me build right now. And then I sped up everything, and I was cutting out like the parts where I'm stopped and looking at the picture and examining the, what I took pictures of and everything, and cut all of that out and, sped this up to the 18 plus minutes that it is. I thought that was really neat how you can turn 3 hours into like 20 minutes. Also, currently this house build is not on the gallery, like at the making of this video, because obviously I'm not done with the house, and when I am done with the house, I'm definitely going to put it up on the gallery. And I will be putting a link either in the video somewhere or in the description, so that people can go and download this house as soon as it's done. Of course, that's only if you want to, which I would greatly appreciate. Wow, it looks like I'm getting wrapped up pretty quick on this video. In the next episode, we're going to start working on the next hallway that leads to the living room. Hopefully I'll make it to the living room too. That'll be awesome. So, I guess it's about time to wrap this video up. I hope that you enjoyed watching this, and I hope to see you in the next video. Also, thank you so very much for watching. Night night!